enough money. Anybody ever have that happen to them? If you did, say me down below. Say me. And so the reason for that is that my standards for myself was that I was just going to go and make enough money to pay for my bills and the life in which I lived at that moment. You know, and I always said to myself, you know what? Man, if I just stopped going to the bars and spending $150 a night, or if I just stopped going to Starbucks every day, blank, if I just stopped doing such and such, then I would have money left over. But we never stopped the stopping part, right? We just always, at the end of the month, boom, 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 just barely enough money. Well, my standards were set. I set the standards with myself that what was happening was that my standard was I was just going to make enough money to cover my bills and my lifestyle at the current setting that I had it. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, say down below it makes sense. So, what do we do? What do we do about this? Hey Charles, how you doing? So, and Eileen, nice to have you on here, Eileen. So how do we change it? That's the magic formula, right? How do we change it? Well, we have to change our standards. We have to set something bigger for ourselves than what we're currently having today. And when I talk to people today, the majority of people I talk to are struggling, just like I just mentioned. They're living paycheck to paycheck. So we have to break our standards and set new standards, set new goals. Say to yourself, you know what? I'm sick and tired of just living paycheck to paycheck. I want to make not $60,000 a year. I want to make $80,000 a year. That's my new standard. Don't worry about how it's going to happen. You have to first set your standards, set the clock. You have to realize and get sick and tired of the life that you're living that is not the life you signed up for. It's not the life that you dreamed about. It's the life that you accepted and you settled for. I know I'm getting on a rant, but this is pissing me off. It's pissing me off big time here. Too many people I talk to are suffering, and they're lying to themselves saying that they're not suffering. We're suffering, especially in Vancouver. Oh, the price of housing is so ridiculous. The price of gas is going up. Everyone's complaining about money. Well, here's a news flash. Just go make more money. Do you think the rich people that are out there that ever said, yeah, well, they're rich, they're born with a silver spoon in their hands, do you think they complain about any of those things? They don't. They just say, you know what, then I'm going to do is I'm going to make more money. So how do we make more money? We all have, hey, listen, we all have the same amount of hours in a day, don't we? We all do. We all have 24 hours in a day. So why is it that some people have more money than you? Is it because they got a bigger education? If you think so, if you think it's because they've got a higher education, type down below education. If you think that their circumstance was not, it was better than yours, maybe they were born in a different family and their family had different, they had different outs or different, they had different opportunities because of who their family was, then type down below family. If you think that it's because they were born in a certain area of town, say area. If you think it's because maybe they were a white person versus a black person, or an Asian person, or a Asian person versus a white person, or something like that, then say down below, say ethnicity. Did I even say that right? Say whatever, color, or whatever you want to say. The simple fact is this: we're all humans. We all have 24 hours in a day. And if you're going to latch on to any excuse other than the fact that you ain't cutting it, you ain't doing what you need to do to be able to get what you want, and that you've actually set your standards so bloody low and you're accepting them, that's the real truth. That's the real truth. The truth is, it's on you. It's on you to set your standards. It's on you to change. It's on you to grow. Something happened to you when you were a kid. something happened to you in your childhood and you're still latching on to that crap, and you're now 55 years old, 60 years old, 44 years old, 46 years old, it's up to you to get over it. It's up to you to power through that and get over that and stop using that. Work on yourself. Get through that. Quit using it as an easy crutch. Our standards are set so low nowadays, and we accept them, that it's a sad state of affairs. It's sad. It hasn't been since I set my standards higher, and every day I set them higher than the next day. And I choose to march towards my dreams so that I can have the life that my gut is telling me about. My gut is telling me about a life and an opportunity and a living that is completely different than the one that I settled for 20 years. Now, Lana says here, exactly why I should live on X when I retire after 20 years of service. So I'm going to make more money with a new plan. Cutting off cable first, not reloading coffee cards, eating home. Yeah, that's definitely Lana. That's one way to make more money, is to spend less money. How about that? Exactly. But then you're taking away the things you really like. You're taking away the things that you really enjoy. If you really enjoy going to Starbucks and drinking a Starbucks, why don't you go and drink a Starbucks? Why don't you go, instead of drinking the tall, drink a venti? And if you wanted a latte, why not just get the latte? Why are we scrimping? Why are we sacrificing what we want to do? Why are we doing that? Why don't we stop with the excuses? Like, okay, for those of you who don't know what it is that I do now full time, what I do is I help people. I help people with their health, wealth, and their happiness. That's what I do. I love it. It's passion. It is not work. I absolutely love it. I love it. I took a jump. I took a leap of faith. I jumped all in. I never looked back. And the life that I've lived from jumping, I retired. It was scary. It was the scariest thing I ever did in my lifetime. From a job that I had for 8 years, I left that. I left that job, the working world, the 9-to-5 world, to follow my passion. And there was nothing more scarier. I was scared. I was scared shitless, to tell you the truth. I was. And I left that to do what I really love to do. And when you really do what you love to do, there's no choice, because you love it and you're doing it and it's your passion. It just blossoms. It blossoms. And it will grow. It's the same thing with our gut. If our gut is telling us every single day that there's something more for us out there, and there's an opportunity that gets put in front of you and gets it presented to you, and it's an opportunity that can take you to the life that you want to, then you jump all in. Jump all in with that, and take it. And don't let the voices inside of your head. Don't let the voices of doubt, the voices that are made up in your head, the voices that your brain is telling you that, oh, that's a little bit scary. Maybe you shouldn't do that, or take the easy route. Take the easy route. It's more easier for you to accept your crappy life. And to lie to yourself every single day that, oh, life's okay. I'm getting by. I'm just getting by. I asked somebody today, I asked a grandfather with his daughter sitting at Starbucks today. Here's a story for you. I said, he's sitting there with his brand new 5-week-old grandson. 5-week-old grandson. And he's sitting there. Sorry, I was reading Lana's comment there. I'll get to that in a second, Lana. So what happened was he's sitting with his grandson, and they're sitting there, and I go, hey, how you doing? Oh, look at your baby. The mom had the baby on the belly, and oh, look at your baby. That's so congratulations, because I knew the girl. I said, congratulations, that's awesome. Congratulations to you. And I turned to the father. I said, how you doing? Oh, I'm good. I go, oh, just good? Yeah, yep, just good. I go, you've got a brand new grandson right there. Your daughter's sitting next to you at Starbucks. Why aren't you amazing? Why aren't you incredible? Life is so amazing and so incredible. Why aren't you that? Well, things are great. Things are great. I go, no, don't upgrade it now. Don't upgrade it now. You had a chance to answer that question, and what naturally came out of you was the truth. And the truth is you're not really great. You're not really amazing. And you got your grandson, your brand new grandson right beside you, and your daughter. I couldn't believe it. And I said, well, what if you could be amazing? What if you could feel 10 times better? Would that interest you? Nope, I'm good. I'm good. Really? You're good? You're good. And I said, you settled for good? You're settling for good out there? Couldn't believe it. So we got into talking a little bit about her home and building her new house and her dream home over in Bowen Island and all this jazz. And so we're talking about all that, and then he turns to ask me, what do you do, Shane? What do you do? And I said, I'm retired. And he's like, holy cow, you're retired? How old are you? And I go, I'm 46. Oh my goodness, how did you retire at age 46? How did you do that? That's amazing. I go, yeah, now you know why I'm amazing. And he says, well, so how'd you do it? And I says, well, you know what? I got this product that I introduced to people, and it's a multi-level marketing company, and what we call it sales affiliate marketing. And I do this thing, and I introduce people with this stuff, and I see that you're drinking coffee here right now. It just happens to be something and I tried to almost let the cat out of the bag. It happens to be something. Why don't you give it a try? Nope, I'm good. I'm good. You see how his standards, where he thinks that good is amazing, he's ripping himself off. He's ripping himself off. If you're good, why are you settling for it? Why are you settling for just good? It's a beautiful day. There's trees with beautiful white and pink flowers on them here. A beautiful green maple, and I'm looking at all this sun and this Japanese maple over here. It's so much beauty around in the world. Why are we not seeing it? Why are we not seeing? Why is life not amazing? Why are we settling for the amount of money that we're making? Why are we not seeing these beautiful, vibrant colors? Why are we not thriving instead of just surviving? Why? Why do we settle for that? It's because of our standards. We set our standards that is acceptable. Your standards are what you've accepted for yourself and what reality really is going to be for you. Switch your standards. Switch them. I'm imploring you to switch them. And if you want to know how to switch them and you don't currently do what whoever did with the video that got sent and shared with you, if this gets shared, reach to the person who shared it with you. Say, how in the heck did that guy go from just existing to thriving? Ask that person, and they'll introduce something to you. It'd be their pleasure. It's not enough to just survive. We've got to thrive. Life is a very short game. I got Anthony on here right now, and he posts a beautiful inspirational quote pretty much daily, and I love watching what he says on his Facebook. I'm a big fan of it. There's a man who has a bigger picture. There's a man who's taken life back. Taken life back and said, you know what, I'm going to do something different than I was doing before. And when you see what that feels like, and he'll tell you up here, he'll tell you, when you do that, it's the best decisions you've ever done in your lifetime. When you've decided to make life your own and break out of that shell. Break out of that shell and start thriving again, because it's been decades since we thrived. The most people on here and most people in the world are not thriving. It's been a long time. You can't know how happy you are until you've been low. It's called perspective. You ever seen or heard of people who've hit rock bottom and all of a sudden, boom, they've hit rock bottom and all of a sudden they've made their way to the top? You ever seen or heard of a drug addict that's hit rock bottom? You always hear them say, you know what, well, they just haven't hit rock bottom yet. They just don't want the help. Let them hit rock bottom. Let them have that moment. When you've hit rock bottom and you've had that scary moment, there's no more ceiling anymore, because you've been so low that there's no choice but to hit that trampoline and get so high. People who have the passion that they have are people who are tackling the story of the person who's gone from the bottom to the top, and the story of the person who's been to the top and hit the bottom. You ever heard of a story? If you have, say I have. I've heard it. If you ever heard of a story of the person that's been on the top and then found their way at the bottom, like there's lots of those stories, right? That's a story for a bit, right? That's a story just for a bit. where the person's on the top and everyone's looking back on ha ha, ha ha. That's all people say about that is ha ha, ha ha. Like, look at Mike Tyson, right? Ha ha, ha ha. Everyone laughed at that guy. Ha ha, ha ha, right? But it's the story of when the person hits the bottom and what he does when he's on the bottom that people then watch. Then they watch. Wow, what a story. There was a story not too long ago. There was a story not too long ago of a person who went from the bottom to the top. Can't remember which one it was. Wish it was more memorable. But those stories are the ones that inspire people. They inspire people. I personally had the pleasure of hitting rock bottom. One day, 2016, January 27th, I can remember the day, in the AM hours, the city was Las Vegas, I hit rock bottom. So when you ask me and you're sort of wondering what happened to me and why it is that my life is a little different now, well, not a little different, why my life, why I look at things a little bit different, why I see colors that maybe you don't, why it is that I smell flowers, take time to smell a flower, or watch a bee inside of a, what the heck's that bush? Well, anyways, my favorite bush, I forgot that too. Rhododendron? Rhododendron, I think that's a bush. Big bush with beautiful flowers and the bees go in and they fly in there. Have you ever done that with the bees going and they're getting all the pollen? I love watching that. Saw one the other day on my live. I love those bushes. Why I do that, why it is that I will not stop but to pour into people and help them with my passion, which is pouring into people to get them to rebound and help them rebound from their rock bottom. Because I've been there before. And when you've hit the bottom, there's no place to go but the top. No place to go. Your top may not be the same as another person's top, but it doesn't matter. You don't have to compare yourself to other people. You don't have to compare yourself to other people. You compare yourself to where your top is. I was talking to a friend of mine. Here's this one for you. I was talking to a friend of mine and I says, you know, is taking this thing scary for you because you're on you know, antidepressants and you know you're stable and it's much safer, it feels much safer to have no highs or lows, but you're just stable. He says, yeah, that's it. That's it. So you'd rather be stable in mono than to have to take a chance of being